Hello and welcome back. I'm Bebo Joe. This is Workers and Resources Soviet Republic with a special report, and I hoped I didn't have to do this, but I feel like there's no other choice today. So, what's this about? I am assuming you've noticed that this is a short episode. Why is it a short episode? Well, because Bebo Joe is done with early start DLC for now. This is not a review. I believe that most of the players on Steam and other places have shared their opinions about what's going on, and I think the overwhelming response has been not very positive. Too much content missing, too many bugs, too many things not working, too many things not thought out, things just not being available, things not locked or unlocked depending on research, things not refueling. There are a lot of bugs out there, okay? I understand that. This is not a review. I'm just gonna repeat it. But here's my dilemma, my problem, and I posted this for some of you already, so this is not news. But so much has changed since the embargo was lifted for the early start DLC. Small things. Starter money has changed. All the prices have changed. This vehicle in front of us doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. That excavator, you can't buy that anymore. And I am not happy there are two Z's on the side. Let's go over here. But just things have just changed overall with the whole gameplay. And some things are more locked, some things are more unlocked, some things are addressed, some things are not addressed. Trams are a thing now that you can do because you have a tram depot that can be built that can move things around. It's just like, there's a lot of stuff that has happened, okay? We are now invested about 20 hours, a little over 20 hours into this save, and the 3 cities are working, and Siberia is not the problem here, right? A lot of things have happened that are fine. I think we've established that overall the game is playable. I think that's fine. I think we also established that earthquakes are way OP when you only have one city, because it can actually level half of your city, that can turn off your whole city, and if it's that thing. And then just normal things that are going on. But I feel very frustrated with the process. Yet, again, this is not a review. I see all the check-ins that the developers have, just their GitHub account, their Git account. Like, there's activity. There's a lot of activity. There's activity around models. There's activity about bugs. There's activity around everything that you give feedback on, then I give feedback on. So they are working on fixing this, which is another reason why I don't want to give a review. The current state of the DLC, it is June 9th, 2025 at 9:25 p.m. CST. The current state of the game is getting better, but it's still not done. It's still not right. There are a couple more things, and I feel in 2 to 8 weeks from today, the game may be ready for an actual playthrough. And what I'm actually trying to get to is, all these things have changed, and this is a let's play. I don't do condensed, fancy, funny, cool moments of the game, or just show you all the things that I've done without you watching. I show you the whole game, the whole gameplay. That is part of this channel. I don't want to condense this game down to just like the highlights of the last 10 hours that I played or 100 hours that I played. I don't have that time. This is a let's play series. You know what you can't do in a let's play? Play along if everything changes, continuously changes, and all the time changes. So I am frustrated and fed up with that for multiple different reasons. I don't like how this DLC was released. My headphones is falling off because reasons. So let that be noted. I'm not happy with how it was released. I think it's playable. I think a lot of things are fine, but there's still more to do. And no, I'm not that concerned about the content, that there's not that much on the western side available as on the eastern side. Yes, there's stuff missing in the 40s and 50s to be even unlocked and be available for us to play with. That is a little problematic because I don't want to rely on mods to do things, but overall, as you can see, everything is totally fine and workable and doable and attainable, and we can do all the things. Cool. No, that was a long rant. Yes, let's talk about the goods and the bads, because this is the end of this series, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to do next. The start. The new logic of the customs houses makes this obsolete. I think you can get away from that because our trucks, especially the small trucks that don't take that long to load anyways, are mightily capable of just getting loaded up in a large customs house just fine, and we don't need in-between storages anymore. That's the first thing, okay? This overall construction office zone right by the border is still relatively good to have, and you shouldn't get rid of that, so that can stay. I think hazardous waste is still a reasonable way to make a little bit of money, so that's cool. The rail construction office has to be built right next to a customs house so you can actually get started on building the rail, and you do absolutely need rail early. Any high volume transports will require you to have rail available just to transport a little bit of grain to get some clothing done. Very, very important. So this is fine. City over here. It is Siberia, and the original heating plant that we had down here was stupid. Do not place it there, but you do have to place it relatively close. The heat guide just came out today, actually on the 9th of June, and we talked about just the distance that you want to keep. The pollution guide is going to come out in a little bit, but way before this video comes out, so that should all be explained. And effectively 350 meters for the one cloud are sufficient to keep us away, which means the health on this guy is not perfect, but it's also not awful. The other thing is pollution from the sewage discharge is also relatively large, so make sure you don't put it next to the city. I think I knew that at some point, but then I forgot. So there are those things. Starter industry, fabric, clothing, still fine. Nothing wrong with that, but you need rail. You need to get rail moving. I feel that explosives have actually done okay. They are not the best ever, but they're also not the worst. I mean, we look at this. This is the second best export that I have, and I'm producing my own chemicals, and I'm producing my own gravel, and I'm producing my own wood. So all of that goes in here, and all I have is a single factory. And I think this is a pretty good return looking at what we get. The problem is slightly this. We are it's still relatively high volume, but it's fine. I think it's fine. I mean, we produce 1.1 tons of explosives. We can probably transport that with trucks. So explosives, a lot of comments when I built this were complaining or telling me that explosives are not a good industry to build at this point. I disagree. It looks fine as long as you build your own chemicals up, which you can do with the technical university. Now, should the technical university be part of the first city or second city? Depends if you want a distribution office or not. If you don't want a distribution office, absolutely. If you would like a distribution office, you got to put that in there. Second city, it's working fine. Cableways are fine if you have a technical university sitting around somewhere. The buildings are super low density, so make sure that you actually plan out your city accordingly. But I also found that the fabric and clothing industry this close to the city actually were just fine. I don't feel like we've lost a lot of people because of that. And I'm looking at 92% health at the building that is the closest to all the industries. So I kind of like it. I like the residential, commercial, industrial selection, like in just strips of the city that seem to work just fine. And if I wanted to, I could probably extend the city out this way a little bit and this way a little bit and make like a half circle around them, and things will be fine. Outside of that, asphalt, yes, I would like to build it earlier, but I'm still not willing to waste all the workforce to put things on there that an asphalt paver can just do in a couple minutes. So that's not going to happen. Okay, so early start is fine. I think the vehicle industry that we're going to build over there would also be fine. And then I kind of like the stuff that we planned here. I tried to go back a little further so we didn't have snow, but we now have snow anyways, and I'm almost done talking, so that is fine. Speaking of snow, this is the first time I played Siberia seriously. What do I think about it? I think it adds a reasonable challenge to the game. Let's follow a couple of these cars around while I'm talking because that's more fun. You, hey, buddy. Are you doing just coal? Yeah, sure, why not? It adds a reasonable, harder challenge to the game. Okay? It is nice to have that challenge going. It is difficult to have that challenge on, and mistakes are punished more. Every time you have a heating plant not running at 100%, you will be punished if you're close to a capacity of those plants. Every time you have your coal supply not set up, you will be punished. However, I don't like that the snowplows in early start effectively drive slower on the road with snow than the vehicle's penalty is on that same road. So having the snowplows out just doesn't make sense until they are fast enough to drive in front of the slow vehicles and actually, like, you know, make a little bit of distance. I put a couple long discussions, the same discussion really, on the Steam forum and on Reddit about winter needs to be random. I fully believe winter needs to be random. I am totally happy with having one winter where it snows every single day. That is fine. Every single day can snow, as long as there's a winter where it never snows. As long as there's a winter where it snows for a week and it doesn't snow for 2 months. And vice versa. I just want random winter. I don't want it to start the same day every time. It turns, the ground turns white the same day in the same climate every year. It also turns green the same day every year in every climate. Don't love that. Give me some random. Plus minus 30 days. It's totally fine. And then give me a randomizer on when it snows. And randomizer can be weighted by temperature. If your temperature is, what do we have right now? -11. Make that probability 2 and 5 or 3 and 5. If the temperature is positive, or, well, positive, it shouldn't snow at all. But if it's slightly negative, like between 0 and -10, make it 1 and 5. If the temperature is below 20 or below 25, make it 4 and 5. Give it a random distribution. I don't care what it is. Those are just random numbers. Put them out there and let it snow when appropriate, but also let it not snow when not appropriate. So the roads can actually stay clear for an extended period of time that the early start snowplows, and all snowplows for that matter, actually have a reason to be. Okay? Yeah, that was a long rant, but that's how I feel. Siberia in general, again, it adds a good challenge. I think it makes the game harder and it makes it more punishing. However, in terms of YouTube, I believe that this is not great to watch. I understand that. Normally, in normal series, I have skipped through winters just to show you beginning of winter and then spring. Just because the snow is eye-piercing, and I fully understand that, and it's not that easy to follow along. And Siberia, by default, snow period is longer, and it's always there. It's all around us all the time. So I think this will be the extent of what I do with Siberia. It is cool. It is difficult. I like it. You should play it at home. Highly recommend it. I think it makes the Biomes DLC worth it, honestly. But like, this changes stuff. But I'm not going to have another series with video of mostly white screens and white, well, thumbnails and stuff. But yeah, no, I think we're done with that. Makes gameplay a little easier, but that's the next thing. What next? What's next? Well, I'm looking at a couple things. There was a comment that mentioned go back to Season X and... Oh, no, not go back to Season X, but they were still watching Season X. And I'm like, you know what? Now may be the perfect opportunity to go and try to fix Season X. If that happened or not, you will already know, because by the time this video goes public, it should have already come out. And we'll see how much I can fix, if it's actually fixable. I don't think I'm going to continue it forever, because I do want another early start series. I don't know exactly what yet. I have a couple ideas that I would like to throw around and really get excited about and make sure that that's what I want, but I have a couple ideas that hopefully work out. But early start DLC will come back on some climate, some biome, I don't know which one yet, once early start is done. Again, I told you that's a 2 to 8 weeks range is what I'm assuming. And that may be right, may be wrong. But once it's ready, I do feel very compelled to have another start on that and another go, and maybe add some rules again to make life a little harder. Again, I'm not fully committed or uncommitted on any of those things yet, but I think we will figure it out and it will be great. Cool. And that's it. I may try a couple other games in the meantime, but that is what I have for now. So this is final episode of Early Start DLC. Everything changed. People Joe's a little frustrated. Snow needs to be more random. Content needs to be more universal for everyone and be the same. I would like to have Early Start finished, and I will go back to Season X and see if I can fix it. If you don't see any videos, that meant I couldn't fix it, but I'm pretty sure it's fixable, and I've been removed from it now for a month and a half or two. There's a good chance that something can happen with that. I'm kind of excited for that. Oh, yeah, they replaced this because of the Geneva Convention. That's pretty simple. I saw so many comments, and I was surprised that you didn't know that. I think it was a lot, like, it was around the internet for a little while, but that's all fine. And that's what I have. Honestly, I promise, this is the last thing that I want to talk about. So yeah, short episode just to wrap this up. Workers and resources is not going away. It may just be not as plentiful for a little while. I do apologize to all patrons and YouTube members because I do understand that you sign up for those memberships specifically for workers and resources. A few of you just to support me, and a few of you just because you like how I make content, but a majority of you because of workers and resources content. It will come back. I understand whatever decision you want to make. There's no obligation. No, I will come back with more stuff of this, and hopefully you will appreciate that when it happens. For now, thank you very much. Oh gosh, sorry, last thing. I've seen more comments about the early access model that YouTube has started within the last year, I think. I don't know when it happened, but Season X already didn't have it at the start, but then it became a thing. I've always tried to record about 2 weeks in advance. Why? If I get sick, I can't record. That's like a week out there, potentially, or longer. I've had longer outages than that. When my kids get sick, sometimes I just don't have time at night to do something, and that happens too a lot. So 2 weeks is my usual buffer that I play with. Currently, I'm super busy. I have a woodworking business that I'm trying to put up and get things going, and it's taking some traction. It's great. There's an Etsy store that will come out there eventually. But I am concentrating on that too a little bit, so I'm stretched a little thin, which means whenever I have a range of time available to get some stuff recorded, I use the heck out of it. And then you may see 8 new videos in 7 days. Something like that. Early access. And then you may not see something for 2 or 3 weeks because that's how it works. Because that's how the time I have. The recording schedule has not changed. The early access just gives me an opportunity to give people that actually have given me money or are willing to give me money for whatever reason. There are people that just want to support me, and I appreciate that very much. Give you something back because there's really not anything else that I'm offering. At least not a lot. There are like 2 extra videos I think that you've gotten over the last 4 years. So I want to give something back for you supporting me. Early access is a way to do that. Patreon has it. YouTube has it. I do not like that YouTube shows the early access tag the way that it does. I don't like it. Asterisks. It has increased the number of YouTube members immensely. Like, not even comparable. There's hundreds of people now YouTube members, and I appreciate every single one of you. That wouldn't exist without YouTube pushing the content the way that they do. That is the way it is. No way to sugarcoat it. I understand that sometimes it's a little frustrating when I'm a little ahead, but know that I do read all your comments all the time. I don't always agree with them, but I always appreciate them. And very often, good critical thought goes into something, makes me want to try something, makes me want to do something different. Often it inspires test videos. Sometimes it inspires tutorials. Sometimes it just inspires the next build that is maybe not the next city, but the city after that. So everything you say, I absorb and try to use for something. And that's all there is. Yeah, cool. Now I'm done. Sorry. There's your 20 minutes of B-Ball Joe. And this is the end of British Siberia. We will be back with something. If you have a map that you want me to try, any biome, not Siberia, But any biome, just send it my way. Maybe it sparks my curiosity and my interest that I actually want to play on that. So there's some potential that could happen to be the next map. I don't know what the next map is yet. I kind of like the British Isles, but we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. So we'll just go with that. It's turning nighttime, so this is perfect. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Sorry for cutting this one down early, but it is what it is. I hope you understand, and I will see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.